Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum. Let's do it again. Sing with me, gesture at your screen, and leave a dislike on this video. Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum. All right, we got a Christmas party at the campus today. It's at the student union. I'm going to do something really bold today at the party. I'm going to straight up, if I can even get the chance, because a lot of times I don't get a whole lot of opportunity to hold conversations with people. I'll let you watch the video last night. I'm gonna straight up ask people for honest feedback. If they can tell me if I smell bad, they can tell me if my clothes don't look right, they can tell me anything they want. And so I'm just gonna ask for straight up feedback because at this point I feel like I have nothing to lose. Here's why. Here's why. I A lot of times I don't have a problem I have a bigger problem going from 0 to getting a first date than I do from going from that first date to even getting married probably. 0 is here, that first date is way up here, and marriage is probably only here. And I wanna know why I'm having such a see, I often when I go to a large there's probably the odds of me getting a chance to ask anybody out on a date at a Christmas party like the event today is probably 0 because a lot of times, before I can even introduce myself, I get interrupted. People don't listen to me, or they don't take me seriously. They they they, um, they, uh, all sorts of other drama. And my goal is to just find out why, not to change that, but to find out why. And even if it's something that's unchangeable, to even to know it, right? Because if it's unchangeable, I might not be able to change it, but I might be able to do something to compensate for it, right? Maybe it really is unchangeable, but it comes with other benefits, right? For example, I like collecting different metals on the periodic table, right? Every metal on the periodic table has a very different property, right? So gold is very malleable, bismuth is not, right? But in compensation for that, bismuth has other properties that gold does not, right? It oxidizes very easily. You can anodize it, right? And so that's what I want to find out, right? I don't want to change bismuth to make it malleable, right? I want to make use of the good properties that it has, right? That's the goal. That's the crux of the goal that I have today, right? Okay, so please pray for my success there. What else do I want you guys to pray for? Pray that uh, one thing I noticed this year here in 2024 is that when something goes wrong in your life, uh, there isn't a whole lot of support, right? So for what do I mean by that? Well, I live in a house with two housemates. 2 months ago, I was so heartbroken that things fell to shit. I My room became a disaster. I had difficulty cleaning up after myself, and I almost got evicted from the house. Granted, I had only lived here for a month at the time, so maybe had I lived here for a year and then had heartbreak, maybe that would have been a different story. But my landlord was very unsympathetic. She was screaming out of the top of her lungs, and after she had screamed one day, I frantically tried my best to clean up, and I apologized, explaining all the difficulty I had been running to. And also, I knew it wasn't gonna happen, but I half jokingly asked her if she knew anybody that I should date. I knew it wasn't gonna happen, but she's a lot older than me, but I half jokingly asked anyway so that she could understand what I was going through, and she was so upset at the remark. She said, "Why would anybody wanna date somebody who would leave a disaster like that?" And, it was a joke to let her understand what's going on in my life, and, and long story short, somehow I didn't get evicted, and now I'm in a better situation, but I'm still upset because the crux of the problem is that society kicks you when you're down, whether it be relationship dramas, whether it be health problems, whether it be financial problems. Every we don't have a whole lot of protection from those things upending our lives, right? It's a shame. Last summer, I got COVID-19 and society kicked me when I had COVID-19, right? Society kicked me when I had financial troubles a few years ago. That hasn't happened recently, but years ago when I had financial troubles. Society kicked me when I, had, eczema when I was a kid, right? Oh my god, society kicked me mercilessly when I had eczema, when I was a kid. And I want to, before it happens the next time around, I want to have, a good insurance system, right, if you will, right? So, for example, last time when I had COVID-19, society really kicked me down every time I went out, and so lately, every time I go out, I make sure to say hello to everybody I run into, right? Janitors, security people, campus police, other professors at the campus, uh, other people in our community, and make sure to get to know a lot of people on a first name basis so that there's a lot more understanding. Uh, One thing I run into a lot is that I have anxiety. Sometimes when I'm very overwhelmed, I just need to like sit down and maybe even lay down when I'm out. Society is very harsh on that, right? And I find if I get to know a few people on a first name basis, it starts to get a little bit better, right? And please pray for me. The other thing I want to do is I keep praying to the God of dislikes to entrust me with some wealth, right? Hopefully this year, you never know what the next hot thing is gonna be. So I hope to accumulate a few more medals on the periodic table. Right now, I own 26 different metals, right, on the periodic table. Let's see if I can name them all. I got gold, silver, copper, right? Platinum, palladium, nickel. I don't have mercury yet, but I have cadmium and zinc, right? Uh, I got tungsten, rhenium, tantalum. I got bismuth, obviously, antimony. I got lead, tin. I got thallium, indium. Got lots of aluminum, obviously. I got radium from a couple of glow in the dark watches. I'll let you decide if you'll count polonium. I extracted a small amount of polonium from the dust in our house. I have uh, 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 so I have titanium. I have vanadium. But I hope to accumulate a good amount of every element on the periodic table that is safe to do so, because you never know which one's gonna hit the moon again, right? So, for example, rhenium was worth a lot of during the just before the global financial crisis. Platinum was worth quite a bit before then as well. Platinum was worth a lot in the early 1970s, right, relative to other metals. Obviously, silver hit a high in 1980, and if I hit one of those spikes like that with any one of those metals, probably won't get rich immediately, but I could sell that and buy a different metal and hope to do it again, right? And so a few iterations of that, I could probably retire, and then I'll run into a lot less drama if I had $5,000,000 in the bank, a lot of things would be less dramatic. For one thing, I wouldn't have to live with my landlord if I didn't want to, right? I could still try it, but if my landlord starts screaming out of the top of her lungs because I had a heartbreak situation, oh my god, goodbye, right? And, if I ran into for or I wouldn't run into drama with the outside world when I have COVID-19 because I would just order delivery. I wouldn't have to go out there and be exhausted and sit down on, at the store, right? I would just order stuff online. A lot of things would be a heck of a lot less dramatic if only I had a lot of money, right? I could ask people to set me up on dates all the time, right? Among other things, right? Let's just say life would be so much less dramatic if I had $5,000,000 in the bank, right? It really would be. It really would. Leave a comment if you agree with that. Agree, disagree? Leave a comment. Um, Good boy. Maybe I need to focus on getting money instead of a husband. I totally agree. Money is the best spouse anybody could have, right? It really is. It really is. A lot of things, right? Uh, all right. Please continue to pray for me. Oh, yeah, even the Christmas party, right? If I had a lot of money and I could dress up to really, stick out at the party, right? I could get a plastic surgery if I have a stick out at the party, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum. By the way, leave a comment on which element I should buy next on the pure. I trust you guys have been if you just leave a comment on which metal I should buy next, and I'll take the next $1,000 and buy that metal. Just I gotta diversify anyway, right? So take a guess at which element you think is gonna shoot the moon. I trust your guess. Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum.